It was a quiet Saturday night. The rain was softly hitting against the window, and the room was dimly lit by the flickering glow of the television. Lily sat on her bed, wrapped in her favorite oversized hoodie, a half-empty bowl of popcorn resting beside her. The only sound in the room was the rhythmic hum of the rain and the dialogue coming from the TV. She was watching Stranger Things, her all-time favorite show. The new season had just been released on Netflix, and Lily had been waiting for it all week. She was the kind of fan who noticed every tiny detail, every hidden clue in the background, every secret reference. Her eyes were glued to the screen as Eleven walked through the foggy woods. The music was eerie, the tension building. Suddenly, a bolt of thunder flashed outside, lighting up the room for a split second. Lily jumped a little but smiled. "Perfect night for horror," she whispered to herself. But as the thunder faded, the lights in her room flickered, once, twice, then stabilized. She frowned but didn't think much of it. Storms were common in her town. A few minutes later, something strange happened. The TV froze for a second. The image stopped mid-scene, and Lily thought she saw something. For a brief moment, the reflection on the TV wasn't just the characters from the show. There was another figure, a girl, standing behind them. A girl who looked exactly like her. Lily blinked, confused. "What the hell?" she whispered, leaning closer to the screen. The frozen image suddenly unfroze, and the show continued like nothing had happened. The scene moved on, the dialogue resumed, and her reflection was gone. She tried to laugh it off. "Okay, maybe I've had too much coffee," she murmured. Still, curiosity got the best of her. She grabbed the remote and rewound the episode. Her hands were slightly shaking as she pressed play again. The same scene replayed, 11 walking, the thunder rumbling, but this time, there was no strange reflection. No double, no shadow. Just the show, Lily exhaled, forcing a laugh. "See, totally fine." But then, she heard it. A faint whisper, coming from the TV speakers. It wasn't part of the show. It was too quiet, too out of place. It sounded like a voice. And it said her name. "Lily." She froze, staring at the TV. "Okay, that's not funny," she muttered, turning the volume down. The voice came again, louder this time, more urgent. "Lily, when can you hear me?" Her breath caught in her throat. She looked around the room, half expecting someone to be there. But she was alone. Completely alone. Her heart started to pound in her chest. "Who's there?" she said, her voice trembling. "If this is some kind of prank, it's not funny." No answer. Only the sound of static from the TV. She slowly reached for the remote, intending to turn the TV off, but before she could, the screen changed by itself. The show disappeared, replaced by a black screen. Then white letters began to appear, as if someone were typing them in real time. "Help us, Lily." She gasped and dropped the remote. Her pulse quickened. What is this?" Then another line appeared on the screen. Before she could react, the TV shut off completely, plunging the room into darkness. The only light left came from the faint glow of her phone on the nightstand. Lily sat frozen, staring at the blank screen. And then in that reflection, she saw it. A shadow. It wasn't hers. It was behind her. Slowly, she turned her head toward the dark corner of the room. Nothing, just her coat hanging on the door. She let out a shaky laugh. "Get a grip, Lily," she whispered. She grabbed the remote again, pressing the power button. The TV flickered back to life. But this time, Stranger Things wasn't playing. It was a live camera feed, a blurry image of her own room. And in the feed, someone was standing right behind her. Lily's heart was racing. Her breathing became shallow as she stared at the screen. It was impossible, yet there it was. The TV was showing a live feed of her own bedroom. From the exact same angle she was sitting in, she could see herself on the screen. Her hoodie, her hair, the bowl of popcorn beside her. But behind her image, a figure was standing in the shadows. Tall, still, motionless. Lily turned around so fast that her neck hurt. Nothing. Her room was empty. When she looked back at the TV, the shadow was gone. She blinked rapidly, her eyes watering from fear. No, that's not real. That's just a glitch, she whispered to herself. though her voice was shaking. She grabbed her phone to record what was happening, but before she could hit the camera button, her TV started to buzz, a deep, low static sound that made the floor vibrate. The image on the screen changed again, and now it showed a different scene. A dark forest, trees bending in the wind, and faint breathing sounds echoing through the speakers. Then she heard it again. That same voice, the one that had whispered her name. "Lily, you have to listen. We don't have much time." Lily froze. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" she shouted at the TV. The static flickered, and for a moment, she saw a face, pale, frightened, dirty, like someone who hadn't slept in days. It looked like a young girl, maybe her age, staring directly at the camera with wide, terrified eyes. "They found a way in," the girl said. "Through the screen. Through the show." Lily blinked, confused and scared. "What are you talking about? Who are they?" But before the girl could answer, the screen started to distort again, the image twisting and bending as if something was pressing against the inside of the TV. A loud crack echoed, like glass under pressure. Lily stepped back, holding her breath. "Please stop! Please stop!" Then suddenly everything went black again. For a long moment, the only sound was Lily's own heartbeat pounding in her ears. She slowly reached for the TV's power button, but it turned back on by itself. Now it showed static, just endless static. And then, hidden within the static, came a whisper, softer this time, but clear enough to send chills down her spine. "Check your window." Lily's blood ran cold. She turned toward the window, her hands trembling. The rain was still pouring outside, streaking the glass with long, uneven drops. She saw only her reflection and the faint light of the TV behind her. But then, a pale hand pressed against the outside of the window. Lily screamed and stumbled backward, knocking over the bowl of popcorn. She rushed toward the window, but when she got close, there was no one there. Just the rain. Just her reflection. She backed away, breathing fast. "This isn't happening," she said to herself. "This can't be happening." Her phone buzzed. One new message. The screen said, "Unknown number." She hesitated before opening it. Her fingers trembled as she unlocked the phone. The message said only one thing. "Don't turn off the TV. It's the only thing keeping them out." Her eyes widened. "What the hell does that mean?" she whispered. She glanced at the TV again. The static had stopped. Now the show Stranger Things had returned, but it wasn't the same scene she had left off. This wasn't an episode she recognized. The camera was moving through a dark version of her own neighborhood. The houses looked twisted, abandoned, and the air was filled with fog. And then, there it was. Her own house appeared on the screen. The camera was moving closer, slowly approaching her front door. Her phone buzzed again. "They're almost there. Don't make a sound." Lily's breathing became shaky. She dropped to the floor, crawling behind her bed, clutching her phone like a lifeline. She stared at the TV in horror as the camera reached her front porch. The sound of the doorknob turning echoed through the speakers. Click, click, then silence. Lily covered her mouth, afraid to breathe. The room felt colder now, the air heavier. Suddenly, the lights flickered again. Once, twice, and the door to her room creaked open by itself. She gasped but didn't move. A faint figure stood in the doorway, barely visible in the dark. It whispered something, a voice soft as the rain outside. "We've been waiting for you, Lily." Lily's entire body was shaking. She could barely move. The door to her bedroom was open now, creaking slightly as if moved by a slow, invisible hand. The hallway beyond was completely dark. Her TV still flickered softly, showing her house, but from outside, as if someone were filming through the rain. She swallowed hard. "Hello?" she whispered. Her voice barely made a sound. There was no reply, only the faint hum of the TV and the steady tapping of the rain. For a moment, she thought she saw movement in the hallway, a flash of red light like the glow from the Upside Down in Stranger Things. But when she blinked, it was gone. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. "Don't go near the door. They can see you now." Lily's hands trembled as she typed back, "Who are you? What's happening to me?" No response. Just 3 blinking dots as if someone was typing. But then they stopped. The TV suddenly changed again. The static was gone, replaced by a dark forest. The same one she had seen earlier. The same terrified girl appeared on the screen, breathing heavily, her face illuminated by a flashlight. "Lily, if you're still watching, listen to me carefully," the girl said. "The barrier between our worlds is breaking." It started with the show, the experiments. The upside down, they were never fiction. They were signals. Lily's heart pounded harder. "What do you mean signals?" she said to the screen. "They use the show to hide the truth, to warn people. But when too many of us watched at the same time, something crossed over." The girl looked around, terrified. The sound of branches snapping echoed behind her. "It's already in your world. Don't let them find you." Then the signal cut off. Lily stood frozen in front of the screen. The air in the room felt heavy, like something was sucking the oxygen away. She took one hesitant step toward the TV, whispering, "Who's coming? What are you talking about?" Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, even though the window was closed. Her curtains fluttered. Her posters moved slightly on the wall. And then faintly she heard it, a low, distorted rumble coming from the TV speakers. The sound grew louder, closer, until a voice whispered from deep within the static, "Help us, or become one of us." Lily stumbled backward. "No, leave me alone!" The lights flickered again, and for a split second her room changed. The walls pulsed, as if alive, covered in dark. Veiny tendrils like the ones from the upside down. The air smelled metallic, damp, unnatural. Lily screamed and shut her eyes. When she opened them again, everything was back to normal. The room looked the same, but she wasn't sure anymore what normal meant. Her phone lit up again. A new message appeared. "You opened the door. Now you have to close it." She typed, her fingers shaking. "What door?" This time the reply came instantly. "Look behind the TV." Lily's breath caught. She stared at the TV for several seconds, afraid to move. Then slowly she stepped forward. The TV buzzed faintly as she approached. She reached behind it, her fingers brushing the cold wall, and felt something. A crack. A thin, vertical slit in the wall, pulsing with faint red light. Her heart nearly stopped. She knelt down to look closer. The crack wasn't part of the paint or the plaster. It was alive. It was humming. And from inside it she could hear voices. Whispers. Crying. Screams. She stumbled back, horrified. No, this isn't real." But the TV flickered again, showing the same red crack spreading across the walls of her on-screen reflection. Now her reflection was moving differently, slightly delayed, slightly off, as if the girl in the screen wasn't really her anymore. Lily felt tears welling up. "Please stop this." Her reflection stared back and smiled, a slow, unnatural grin that didn't belong to her. And then the reflection spoke. "You can't stop it, Lily. The door is open." The TV began to shake violently, and the red light grew brighter behind it. Lily fell to her knees, covering her ears as a deep, distorted roar filled the room. Her phone buzzed one last time. The screen read, "Run." The lights exploded and everything went black. When Lily opened her eyes, everything was silent. No rain. No hum from the TV. Just silence. For a moment, she thought maybe she had passed out. Maybe it was all a nightmare. But then her vision started to adjust. The dim light around her was red and flickering, like the glow from embers deep underground. She sat up slowly, blinking. Her room was there. Her bed, her posters, her desk. But everything looked wrong. The colors were muted, the walls cracked, and black vines crawled up the corners, pulsing faintly as if they were alive. The air was thick with fog, heavy and hard to breathe. "Hello?" Her voice echoed strangely as if the sound bounced off invisible walls. No answer. The TV was still on, but now it showed static that glowed faintly red instead of white. Each flicker made the shadows in the room twist unnaturally, stretching toward her and retreating again. Lily stood, her knees weak. She reached for her phone, but it was dead. No light, no signal. She took a shaky breath and whispered to herself, "This can't be real. This can't be real." Then she noticed something. The window. It wasn't raining anymore. Outside, the world looked twisted and dead. Trees were black silhouettes, the sky a dark red swirl of clouds. There was no sound, no life. It looked like the upside down. Lily pressed her hand against the glass, but it was cold, colder than ice. Frost began to spread under her fingers. She pulled back, startled, and turned toward the door. It was half open, leading into a hallway that didn't look like her house anymore. The wallpaper was peeling, the lights flickering dimly, and somewhere in the distance, something was moving. A low growl echoed through the hall. Lily froze. "No, please." Then that same whispering voice from before echoed through the TV. "You're here now, Lily. You crossed over." She turned back to the screen. Her own reflection stared back, but this time it wasn't copying her movements. It smiled. "You wanted to see what was real, didn't you?" Her reflection said softly. "Now you're part of it." Lily's stomach twisted. "Let me out! I didn't want this." "There's only one way out," the reflection said. "You have to find the heart of the gate. Before they find you." The screen went black again. A low rumbling sound began to rise, deep and distant, like thunder underground. The vines on the wall started moving faster, spreading, curling toward her. Lily backed away until she hit the dresser. Then something behind her breathed. She turned. Standing at the end of the hallway was a tall, thin figure, its body gray and twisted, its head tilted unnaturally. It was watching her. Lily clapped a hand over her mouth to keep from screaming. Her heart raced. The figure stepped forward slowly, its movements jerky, unnatural, like a puppet pulled by invisible strings. She ran. Her bare feet hit the cold, cracked floor as she sprinted down the hallway, her breath ragged. The walls seemed to shift around her, doors appearing and disappearing. She turned a corner, and suddenly she was in her living room. Except, it wasn't her living room anymore. Everything was decayed, furniture half melted into the floor, dust floating in the red mist, and a faint buzzing sound that seemed to come from everywhere at once. In the middle of the room, she saw something glowing, a faint circle of light, pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. She approached slowly. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but she couldn't look away. The glow drew her in, warm, familiar, alive. And then a voice came from within the light. Soft, gentle, familiar. "Lily, it's me." She froze. "Mom?" She hadn't heard her mother's voice in months, not since she'd passed away. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Mom? Is that you? Please, help me." "Come closer, sweetheart," the voice said, tender and calm. "It's okay now. You can come home." Lily stepped closer to the light. Her hands trembled as she reached toward it. For a second, she could almost see her mother's face inside, smiling. Kind, exactly as she remembered. But then the light flickered. Her mother's face melted away, replaced by something monstrous. A hollow-eyed creature lunged forward from the light, screeching. Lily screamed and stumbled back, falling to the ground. The glow turned dark red, pulsing violently. The creature's voice distorted into a horrible whisper. "You shouldn't have opened the door." Lily crawled backward as the thing clawed its way out of the glowing circle. The ground cracked beneath her. The air shook with noise. Then, through the chaos, her phone lit up again, even though it had been dead moments ago. On the screen, one message appeared. "Run to the basement. Close the gate." Lily looked at the phone, then at the creature approaching her. Her breathing quickened. "Okay," she whispered to herself, her voice trembling. "Okay, just move." She turned and ran toward the basement door, heart pounding. As the sound of the creature's shrieks filled the house behind her, Lily ran down the dark hallway, her heart slamming in her chest. The house groaned as if alive, the walls shifting and breathing. Every step she took echoed unnaturally, bouncing through the twisted version of her home. Behind her, the creature screamed, a deep, guttural sound that shook the air. She could hear its claws scraping across the floor, getting closer. She stumbled toward the basement door. It was half open and faint red light leaked from the cracks around it. Her phone buzzed again. A single message appeared. "Hurry, it's almost open." She pushed the door open and rushed down the creaking steps. The air grew colder the deeper she went. The smell of damp earth filled her nose, and the hum, that low electric vibration, grew louder. When she reached the bottom, she froze. The basement was no longer a basement. It was a cave. The walls were covered in black vines, glowing faintly red. Pockets of strange mist drifted through the air. In the center of the room, the floor was cracked open, revealing a swirling, pulsing light. A gate. Alive and throbbing like a beating heart. Lily's voice trembled. This can't be real. But it was. The gate pulsed faster as she approached, each beat sending waves of heat through the air. From inside the light, she could see movement, shapes, shadows. Faces pressed against the barrier, whispering her name. "Lily! Lily, help us!" She fell to her knees, clutching her head. The voices were too many, too loud. "Stop it!" she screamed. "Stop it, please!" And then, silence. A moment later, the static from the TV upstairs started to echo faintly through the house, like distant thunder. The same girl's voice from before came through, faint but clear. "You found it. The gate is still open, but you can close it. You just have to destroy the source." Lily looked around, panicking. "What source? What are you talking about?" "The connection. The device that brought it through." Her eyes widened. "The TV?" she whispered. "Yes," the voice said. "It's the bridge." The first signal came through the broadcast. "You have to destroy it before—" The voice cut off suddenly. The vines on the walls began to shake violently. The red glow intensified, and from inside the gate, something massive began to move. A long, shadowy limb pushed through the crack, then another. The air filled with a low, wet sound as the creature began to pull itself into her world. Lily backed away, terrified. No, no, no. Not again. The ground trembled beneath her feet. The gate roared, a sound like metal tearing apart, and from deep inside, something screamed. Her phone buzzed again. "Break the connection. Smash the screen, now." She turned and sprinted up the stairs. The walls seemed to close in on her, the vines reaching out like hands trying to pull her back. She kicked them away, stumbling, nearly falling as she reached the top. Her living room was unrecognizable, the furniture twisted, floating slightly above the floor, and the air shimmering with static. The TV was glowing red, humming louder than ever. Inside the screen, her reflection was there again, but it wasn't just her anymore. It was the other girl trapped inside, pounding against the glass, her mouth moving silently as if screaming for help. Lily hesitated. "What if I hurt her?" she whispered. Her phone buzzed. "She's not real. Break it." Tears filled her eyes. She raised a lamp above her head, gripping it tightly. "I'm sorry," she said, and slammed it into the TV screen. The glass shattered in a burst of light and sound. A blinding flash filled the room. The force threw her backward, knocking her to the ground. The red light vanished instantly. The vines stopped moving. Everything went still. Lily lay there for a long moment, breathing hard, her ears ringing. The air felt lighter now, warm, almost normal. She sat up slowly. The room looked right again. Her posters were clean, her walls normal. The rain tapping gently against the window like before. She almost laughed in relief. "It's over." But then she heard something. A faint crackling sound coming from behind her. She turned her head toward the broken TV. It was dark but deep within the shattered screen. Something was still glowing. A single red light, pulsing faintly, and from it, a whisper. "You can't close what's already inside." Lily's smile faded. Her reflection appeared once more on the shattered glass. Only this time it wasn't smiling. It was crying. Then her reflection looked directly at her and mouthed the words, "Run!" The red glow from the shattered TV pulsed faintly in the darkness, like the dying heartbeat of something that refused to end. Lily stared at it, her chest tightening. Every instinct told her to run, but she couldn't move. Something about that glow held her there, frozen. Her phone buzzed once again. The screen flickered on by itself. The message read, "It's not over yet, finish it," Lily typed with trembling fingers. "Who are you? Why are you helping me?" No reply. Just static across the phone screen. Then faintly, through the broken TV came a soft, trembling voice, one she recognized immediately. Lily. It was the same girl. The one from the show. The one from the reflection. Lily stepped closer, her breath visible in the cold air. "Who are you?" she whispered. The glow flickered, and slowly, the girl's face appeared in the cracked glass. Pale, exhausted, terrified. "I'm you." Lily froze. "No, that's not possible." "I'm what's left of you, the part that never escaped." The signal didn't just pull creatures through Lily, it pulled you. A copy, a reflection. "I've been trapped here since the first time you watched the show." Lily's head spun. "That doesn't make any sense." "I'm real. This is my world." The reflection shook her head slowly. "You think you closed the gate. But the gate wasn't just in your basement or the screen. It's inside you. They need you to stay connected." Lily backed away, her hands trembling. No, I destroyed it." "It's done!" The lights flickered. The red glow spread again across the room, crawling up the walls like blood veins under glass. The reflection's voice grew louder, desperate. "You have to finish what they started. You have to seal it from the inside. It's the only way to end it, for both of us." Lily's phone buzzed one last time. "She's telling the truth. Go back to the basement. End it." The floor began to shake violently. Pictures fell from the walls and the ceiling light burst into sparks. The creature's scream echoed from somewhere deep below, louder than ever, angry, inhuman. Lily clutched her chest and whispered, Okay. If this is real, then I end it now." She turned toward the basement door. The air was thick, electric. The red glow seeped through. The cracks again. Every step down the stairs felt heavier than the last. The deeper she went, the colder it became, until her breath fogged in front of her face. When she reached the bottom, the gate was open again, wider than before, swirling like a living storm. Dark shapes moved inside it, faces, hands, eyes, all reaching out. "Lily," they whispered. "Join us." She stood there, shaking but defiant. "No, you don't get to have me." The reflection's voice came faintly behind her. "Break the core, the heart of the gate. That's the only way." Lily looked around desperately and then saw it. At the center of the glowing crack was a small, pulsing crystal beating like a heart. She grabbed a piece of broken metal from the floor, a shard from her destroyed lamp, and ran toward it. The moment she stepped close, the air became a violent storm, pulling her hair back, making it hard to breathe. The voices screamed. The creature roared. The gate expanded. But Lily screamed louder. She lifted the metal shard and drove it into the heart of the gate. There was a flash of blinding light, white, red, and black all at once. The air exploded with sound, and Lily felt herself being pulled backward, falling into nothingness. She hit the ground hard. Everything went silent. When she opened her eyes, the room was still. The gate was gone. No red light. No vines, no whispers, just silence. Her phone lay beside her, cracked but working. She picked it up. One new message. "You did it. You closed it." She smiled weakly, tears running down her face. "It's finally over," she whispered. Then the message bubble appeared again, typing. She waited, "But you're still on the wrong side." Her smile vanished. She slowly looked around. Her room looked almost normal, but not quite. The colors were duller. The air felt too still. She ran to the window. Outside, the world was frozen, the trees unmoving, the rain hanging midair like glass droplets. Her reflection in the window turned toward her, but she hadn't moved. The reflection smiled. "Thank you for switching places, Lily." And in that instant, she understood. The gate had closed, but she wasn't in her world anymore. The reflection was free, and Lily was trapped on the other side. The last thing she heard before the lights went out completely was the faint echo of the Stranger Things theme song, distorted and distant, playing from somewhere deep in the static.